So now we'll try to create the thread with association. So let's get started. So in this program, we have a class called thread1, and now I am implementing the runnable interface. Okay, so earlier in the example, you have seen that I was extending the thread class, but now I am implementing the runnable interface. So there are two ways to use the thread. Either you can extend the thread class or you can implement the runnable interface. It's up to you and your approach where that fits into your program. So as you also know that if you want to implement any of the interface, you have to override their methods. Okay, so now I have overridden the run method, and I am doing the same thing that I did earlier. I'm just trying to print the thread name, but it is not the thread class, so I have to call the fully qualified method name, that is the thread.currentThread.getName. In earlier example, because I was extending the thread class, I was without the fully qualified name, I was able to print that. But I'm doing the simple stuff. I'm just trying to print the thread name here. Now I will try to run it. So I have created a class called runThread, and I have created the object of the class where I have implementing that runnable interface. And now what I will do, I will pass that class object into the thread class. So thread class has a lot of method. So basically, if you want that your interface will execute that particular method of your class, so you have to create interface, the parent of the class, where you wanted to execute that particular method. In this case, we wanted to execute our method in thread1 class. Okay, that is the method run. So I am just passing that class object into the thread class. So thread class has a method, as you can see here. It is taking two parameters, runnable and the name. Okay, so runnable is the interface. So whatever the object I will give, it will hold the reference in that particular interface, and then it will execute when we'll try to execute it. I have created the same way the another object as well. Now I have to run that. So for the run, that what we have to do, so we have to call the start method on the thread class object. So I did the same way. Now I will try to run this and we'll see the output. So first thread1, all the thread1 has been executed, and then thread2. So maybe I will try to run it again. If we can see some difference. No, we are not able to see. Maybe. So it's all depend on the cycles of processors when the OS gives. So it might be doing the same way, but sometimes if you run maybe if you have the few more threads, you can see the difference sometimes, as we see in the earlier program. So here you can see the difference. I ran it multiple times. So this time the thread 2 got the cycles of processor for before the thread 1. So you can see this kind of output. So now we have learned the two way to use the thread. One, by extending the thread class. Second, by implementing the runnable interface.